Hello all and welcome back to this new lecture in this series of mathematics for machine learning. In the previous lecture we have seen that how to do matrix multiplication with another matrix or another vector, and within this lecture we are going to see that how the same operation is happening behind a machine learning model or a regression model. Also, if you have not covered the previous video, then I suggest that you watch that video first and then come back to this one to have more clarity. Also, if you are someone who does not have any machine learning background, or if you do not have any planning to do machine learning near in the future, then please feel free to skip this lecture. Otherwise, just stick to the end because we have some interesting things coming up. So let's go ahead and understand how this matrix multiplication is happening behind a machine learning model. So this one is a typical example for a linear regression model, where we can assume y as the price of the house and x1, x2 up to xm being the m number of predictors or features in this use case. So it could be like number of bedrooms, size of each bedroom, and number of bathrooms, etc. And as you can see, we have n number of records, and the unknowns that we are trying to solve over here are these a, b, c up to m. So we have these features, but we need to solve for these unknowns so that we can draw the best fit line which can predict the price of any given house. And at this moment I understand this calculation is definitely looks bit tricky or difficult. However, there is an easier way to understand the matrix multiplication happening behind this training of the model. So I have the same situation over here, but I have transformed this thing in this way, where this one is a matrix tensor that has the details of all the features, and this one is a vector tensor which has the unknowns or weights for which we are trying to find the values for. And as you can see, the number of column in this matrix is going up to m, and the number of rows in this vector is going up to m. And as we have learned previously in the matrix multiplication lecture, that if the number of column within the first matrix is equals to the number of rows in the second tensor, whether it is a matrix or a vector, in that case multiplication is possible. And once we get the output from this multiplication, then we are able to draw the best fit line that helps us to understand if we are coming closer to the minimum loss. Now, the concept of a loss function or cost function is a separate topic that we are not covering here, but the idea is to give you the insight that how this operation is happening, where with the help of this matrix multiplication the model is trying to draw the best fit line. And that is all for today's lecture, and I hope that now you have a better understanding that where exactly vector, matrix and matrix multiplication concept is being utilized behind a machine learning model. And this is why we are required to have a basic understanding of these terminologies. And as we have discussed earlier as well, that we just need to understand how these operations are taking place. We don't need to do these operations manually, because our computers and brilliant Python libraries are efficient enough to do all these complex calculations within a fraction of a second. Okay. So thank you very much for your time today. Please keep on supporting the channel by subscribing to it and dropping a like below if you are finding these tutorials helpful. And I will see you in the next lecture. Goodbye and take care.